Proudly We Served is made possible with the support of Premier Toyota of Richmond at 5601 National Road East, Richmond's authorized Toyota new car dealership. Online at premiertoyotarich.com. And by First Bank Richmond, with 8 locations serving Wayne County. First Bank Richmond and you, doing great things together.
I'm Al Bledsoe, Veterans of Foreign War, Post 1108.
I'm Ron Chappell. I'm chaplain for the local Vietnam Veterans Association and co-host here with Al on Proudly We Serve, and our guests are
Jeff Wirt. I'm the Director for Employment and Education for Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs.
And I'm Mike Hamm. I'm the Indiana State Veteran Service Officer.
Okay, Jeff, let's start with you and go through some things that you can help get out here to the audience so they'll be sure that they know what you're doing and how you can help our audience as they listen to what you're saying.
So with employment and education, we assist both veterans, currently serving members in the National Guard and Reserves. We also help the family members with finding employment. If they would like to get into college to get a better job, we can also assist with that. A lot of the veterans that we work with don't realize that, hey, I'm working 2-3 jobs just to make ends meet. I can get one job that can actually equate to these 3 jobs that I'm working.
Mm-hmm. So if I got a kid living at home and he or she is having trouble finding a job, I can just send them to you, right?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
That's a great benefit for a kid or a guy that's going to school, or maybe he's working too. I didn't realize they did it for kids also. That's a big benefit.
You're going to get an onslaught.
Oh, I know.
Do you have trouble placing guys based on their MOS or whatever they was doing in the service? Is it a problem getting a profile and then sending it to Alcoa or wherever you're going to send it?
It's not as difficult as you think it would be. So, I mean, pretty much anything that you do in the military can be equated over to civilian life. Okay. So, I mean, if you were a gunner for 6 years, that can be equated over to you were in a supervisory role, because you're the leader of the gun team. You know, if you were a cannon cocker or artillery, you know, you're on a team, so you work well with others. So pretty much anything you do in the military can be equated over to civilian life and can be included on a resume. It's just getting the right wording, because a lot of the companies we work with aren't military, aren't ex-military. They don't understand 11 Bravo. They don't understand 60 gunner, things like that. So it's just getting the right words in the right places for the companies.
You know, you make a point, because I was in the Signal Corps in my first 8 years in the military, and I had opportunity in the military, you know, as a forerunner, and getting all this new stuff, all the new technology and all that kind of stuff. So when I did retire some years later, and I did put that on my resume, I got interest from a number of electronic companies. And the thing was, they said that usually in the tech schools, and I'm not knocking them, but they get one side of the thing. You know, the receiving side or the transmitting side. In the military, you get the whole thing, and it makes you more valuable. You know, so.
Do they still have to go through an interview process with that employer?
They will. So I mean, it's pretty much the same process as for a civilian.
So you're just setting it up, basically.
We're setting it up. We also, a lot of the companies we work with, we have a good point of contact with them. We can say, hey, we had this person that did an online application, and if you could maybe pull their application to the top. And a lot of the companies will, because we have that good relationship with them. But there are some other companies out there that we haven't worked with in the past, and we work on trying to find those good point of contact so that we can do that.
Do the young guys that are coming home from the Iraq and Afghanistan and those theaters, are they finding jobs okay? I mean, it looks like our employment is good right now. That we have not a full workforce, but it looks like anybody that wants a job can find one.
There is. So I mean, there's always jobs out there, and a lot of the veterans that we've been working with have just kind of settled. They say, maybe this is the best I can do, but there's higher paying jobs out there. So I mean, we've worked with companies that say, hey, we need 1,500 people right now. So
wow.
You may see that the workforce is full, but I mean, there's still open jobs out there and good paying open jobs.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, here's a biggie. I do chaplaincy work here in the local jail, and it's not uncommon to find veterans, incarcerated in that. So I'm asked the question: one, can a veteran get any assistance if he or she's in jail from VA or Veteran Service Program? Or what services, if any, would they be privy to in that situation?
On the employment side, we can prep them.
They're in jail now. They're in jail.
Right. We can prep them. So when they are getting ready to get out, we can have their resume done. We can have we can do mock interviews and things with them. Our big thing is we want to reach out to those hard to reach veterans, the homeless and the ones that are incarcerated as well. So we've had issues with reaching out to them before. Now we're trying really hard to reach out to them so that once they get on their feet and get out of jail or get set up home-wise, we can get them a job. So they're not falling back into the issues that they were having.
That's good, because my premise is that often when I talk with them, and I'm not a psychologist, but I discern that some of the problems that they're having resulted from their service, or could have, or the service impacted on it. And I thought rightfully they should deserve some sort of assistance, and maybe there's some kind of way we could make an assessment while they're incarcerated or something, see what we can do to help.
Definitely. With employment, we'll help any veteran. Any veteran. It doesn't matter your state of service. So I mean, we will help you. Like we've said in the past, once a veteran, always a veteran. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I think also, I know in Indianapolis, I can't speak for Richmond and the surrounding areas here, but there is a organization known as Homeless Reentry Helpers. And they're a faith-based conglomeration of a number of churches, and they work in that regard. They raise funds, they serve hot meals, they collect clothes, they try to help them get a place to stay, and work with them on jobs as well. So get them medical care should they need it, and that type of situation. So I would, I would encourage your group to if they're not doing that now, to step forward and try to do that, because that's you're probably not dealing with a whole bunch, but still there is a big need there for an individual,
right?
Because he's coming out of 2, 5, 10 years. Everything has changed. It's a culture shock.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Remember the culture shock
Yes.
we experienced when we went to Vietnam.
Yes.
Well, I think that that's kind of the area that I really work in around town, is to try to help people like that. And I run into, on average, I'm going to say 10 to 15 veterans a week.
Wow.
And I always ask them if they need any help. And if they come back and tell me that they just can't find anybody to help them, once they go through a vetting process, or I guess what I'd call it, but asking them questions and answers, there's always a reason why they haven't got help. And the biggest reason is that they simply don't ask. And if I'm talking to them, I bring that up. If they say, well, I need this, and I said, do you ever ask for it? It's like the program that we got. There's no excuse for a veteran and or a person in Wayne County. If they have the need, all they got to do is make the call. somehow get word to me or one of the guys,
Exactly.
and I'll find out how I can help them. See, but I'm real proactive with that stuff, and real. I want to reach out and help everybody, if I can. But
From our perspective, it's so very important to just listen.
certainly, very much.
Ask a question and just listen. A few months ago, I had a couple, and they were brought to me by the people with Military Family Relief Fund. They had originally come in to see if they get some rent assistance or something like that. I don't remember. So they were brought up to my office, and I think just to discuss general benefits. Well, in asking them questions, I found out that Mr. had a health problem. And he wasn't even registered in the VA hospital system. So we got that started. Mrs. had a problem. I wasn't able to do anything on that to start with, but it wasn't rental assistance, it was mortgage assistance. They owned a house. We have tax deduction for disabled veterans, wartime veterans. I talked to them about the tax deduction. We were talking about, I asked him, I said, well, how is your work situation? And he says, well, I'm working 3 jobs and she can't work right now. And I said, what if we combined that and got you something better for that? That's when I got him to Jeff.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we were able to work on something on employment.
Okay.
So in a lot of cases, it's a one-stop shop. I mean, they came in, and by just asking a couple of questions and listening to them, we were able to help this couple, and I haven't heard back from them, so I'm hoping that everything worked out.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I've said for a long time, I mean, that something I've learned by doing what I'm doing is listen. Listen to what the person's got to say, and patience.
Yeah.
Trying to be patient enough to listen to their story, if you will, and trying to help them in any way I can. Well, that's kind of my mission in life now. So, I get just concerned when I try to help somebody, and then when it gets right down to it, they just really don't want the help. And like what you said, it's kind of a pride thing. They just don't want to admit that they need the help.
So,
and to me, I mean, I'm trying to help them, because especially the veteran community. I mean, I work in the whole community, but the veteran community especially, to really try to help them any way I can.
Well, sometimes you have to do an intervention.
Yeah.
I have physically taken a guy to drug rehab.
Okay.
He agreed to go, and I took him. The same thing about going to the hospital. I mean, well, I don't know if I want. I'll take you.
Yeah.
Okay. Will you go and register if I take you? I mean, we know we have the experience. We know what's good for them, and they just have to agree to do it and go from there. We have to convince them of that.
Go ahead.
I just attended the opening of a new drug rehab facility in Cambridge City here. Lord
Pinnacle.
help me. It's
Pinnacle's the name of it.
So I was asking questions, as I normally do, and I asked about the different insurances and all that. So I said, well, what if a person doesn't have insurance and they want to go in recovery? Well, it costs $12,000. So where's the guy or gal who's addicted out there on the street, been doing whatever? Where are they going to get 12 grand? So I guess my question to you is, if we find a vet in a situation like that, can we get assistance to any of these programs to get them into that rehab program?
I can't answer that straightforward without doing some research on it.
Would you please?
Huh?
Would you please, and let me know? I'll give you my info.
I don't know if. First of all, how old is he? Is he a veteran in that type of situation?
Yeah, a veteran, and just got out there. He's not in the system or anything. He got out there and got out and just, got into the depressive mode of, the past experiences and that, and got on drugs and just got hooked. And
if he's a veteran, certainly VA can come forward and help by counseling, by inpatient treatment, any number of things in that direction. Hoosier Veterans Assistance Foundation, even though they don't particularly cover out here in your area, but they do cover the surrounding donut counties and Indianapolis area, etc. But they have a drug treatment program, which is a 12-step program that they'll bring veterans in, house them in a dormitory-like structured atmosphere, give them no freedom whatsoever. Their day is totally structured, and they earn the ability to get out of that situation by going to the classes and learning and doing what's necessary to get out of this habitual mode.
Right.
Is that good for them to, there's a place up north called the Journey Home in Winchester, Indiana.
Yeah.
It's in an old hospital. I don't know whether you've ever been there or not.
I have not been there, but I've heard of it.
Okay, so they house people like that. Do you think that, and I'm just asking a question like that, but do you think that's a good idea to put a guy in a room and say, you know, you're here for 6 months and you don't communicate basically with the outside world? If a guy, for example, if a guy smokes, is he allowed to go outside and have a smoke if he wants it? What kind of freedom does that guy have? Because I used to work in a place like that, and sometimes you have to exercise authority, but at the same time you have to give a guy a break, if you will, when he needs it. And
You can't do that. I mean, he basically has to sign himself in and agree to do it. And he's free to leave at any time. But
when he signs in, he's saying that I'm going to do this.
He's made a
for 6
commitment
months.
that I want to get better.
Right.
I want to quit this
Whatever it is.
downward spiral that I'm in.
Right.
It's just like signing the line when you sign up for the military.
Yeah.
I mean, you gave up all rights when you went to basic
Got that
training, right?
You got that right.
So I mean, you're used to it. It's just getting back to old habits.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
Well, some guys, you know, and I noticed because I was down at Pinnacle yesterday, and I noticed that some of the guys and ladies that were in there were outside smoking and stuff, and so my mind started rolling. If maybe because you can be addicted to anything, you can be addicted to work, smoking, drinking, any of that stuff. See, and some of those habits are hard to give up.
But that's a privilege they've learned. They have earned
Right.
to go take a smoke. You mentioned something to me, or we were talking earlier about what do you do about this homeless veteran or this guy
Right.
that's in a drug problem or whatever.
Right.
That's something that needs to be taken to the county. The county and the city needs to decide what they want to do on that. I mean, as far as state programs, I don't know of any right offhand. But that is something that you need to address locally because it affects you locally and it is a local problem, really.
Yeah, because this guy's not going to get come to get any help until he gets detoxified and all that.
Yeah.
And get his head clear. And now we're ready to begin to put him into, some kind of a program to help him.
How long does
But-
that take?
Detox is normally 3 days to a week, I believe it is there, and then they put you into the structured program to begin the rehab
So that's a
process.
county program. That's not
But,
really a state program. Then.
Well, they're funded by this group we're talking about.
Yeah.
They're funded by a number of different organizations.
Mm-hmm.
But 12 grand. I mean, that's a lot of money for me. Anybody, But for somebody that's addicted who has been irresponsible and negligent, they can't just walk in the bank and say, "Hey, dude, I want 12 grand to go get clean."
Well, I think
That
you
ain't gonna happen.
probably heard that Jim Merritt has a program that he's initiating called Heroin in 5, meaning let's get rid of heroin, period, because it's been a big problem in a lot of counties, a lot of cities around the state, and he wants to get rid of it.
What's that called again?
That's great.
What's it called again?
Heroin in 5, is that
I
what it
believe
is?
so.
That would be something to talk to your state legislator about. What is there available for the state? What can we do here in the county? Talk to your county people. What can we do about this? Here is the problem. It's got to be funded, certainly. There's got to be, whether it's a brick and mortar type of facility or whatever be the case, through the hospital or whatever.
Yeah. So you guys really work closely together, from what I'm hearing here.
Yeah. Very closely.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
good.
because one feeds off the other, and you
Yeah.
can see that what he does helps him, and vice versa, back and forth. But the ultimate goal is to help the veteran
Exactly.
in any way that they can. So.
Are you physically co-located?
Oh yeah, we're in the same
Same
office.
office,
Same,
same
office. Yeah.
Central waiting room, and he's on one side with a window, and I'm on the other side without a window.
But you got a door that you can look out and see in.
there. Get him close to a window. Well, I think that the thing that they've got, that organization, that little nucleus of men up there, and I think women also, I think that's a big asset, because we have a great service officer in Pete McDaniel. And certainly if he needs help, these guys can be called in, and then when you guys are called in, why it's a kind of at a different level, I think. So
I'm going to believe that most of the people that will see this program didn't know anything about these guys and where they were and what they do.
well, I think the big divide when they say the VA, I think most people think, well, from Dayton or something like that, see, and the big difference is the state versus the federal VA. I guess that's the right word to say.
Now, is there a any type of interaction between you guys and Dayton?
Dayton, I will say no.
Okay.
Very little, if any. I would love to have a resource directory of what is available in Dayton. I believe there's only one county in Indiana that goes to Dayton, and I think that's your county.
Wayne County?
I'm not sure. Pete could tell you for sure.
And the rest go to Indy. I don't think I've ever been to Indianapolis VA.
Me, I
Is that where it's at, Indianapolis?
Yeah.
I don't think I've
Yeah.
ever been there.
Rowdybush VA in Indianapolis is a very, very fine hospital. It's on a level of any that you will see in civilian area. I have never been treated badly there, and always treated with a smile, quite frankly.
All right.
Yeah, I think most of the hospitals, we have a good support system here in town with CBOC. Our CBOC is here.
Yeah.
And
A community-based outreach center.
yeah.
We got civilians out there.
Community-based outreach
Okay.
Good.
But they really do a good job. Seriously, Anthony's really got that dialed up,
Yeah,
where
he
they
does.
really kind of push them on through
Yeah.
and kind of get the job done, I think.
Right,
So,
right. So what would you guys want to leave with our audience about you and what
yeah,
you do?
just give us a
Yeah,
minute overview here.
Why don't you give them your phone number?
Yeah, contact
Give me
info.
That's
that.
all that
Yeah.
contact
Yeah.
information.
So, I mean, if you have any questions for Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, you can definitely call 317-232-3910 or 3911, and that goes into our reception area, and they can direct you in the proper way. One thing that I want to put out there for employment is we have our community outreach event that we're going to be having here in Richmond. It's going to be on April 26th. It's going to be at the Richmond Family YMCA from 10 to 2. And that's going to be a one-stop shop. We're going to have employers that are ready to hire. We're going to have colleges. We're going to have our entire office there. So if you have any questions, it's definitely a place to go.
So we'll put that out to the other clubs in town. We'll make sure that we get that out to people, know that that's going to happen. So
That's
Are they
great.
hiring?
Yeah.
Are they hiring grandfathers?
all the time.
Is that right?
All the time.
I'm not looking at it. I just want to know.
And I guess the last thing I wanted to say is that we are veterans, and veterans watch each other's backs, and we take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
Sammy Davis, Congressional Medal of Honor recipient,
We had him here.
his motto is, you don't lose until you give up. Okay, so I'm telling veterans, don't give up. You haven't lost yet. Just because you have a problem getting the benefits that you want, etc., doesn't mean that that you should give up. Continue. If work with Pete McDaniel, let him be your agent.
Yeah.
Work in that respect. I'm always available via phone, and certainly you can stop in the state office building and see me there as well. But Our association with VA has been very good, and we will continue to be very good as far as them helping us and we helping them. And please call if there's anything we can do. We're here for you.
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, there's always the new programs, and I think that's what's important. And Pete's usually up to date on that kind of stuff. But it's important that any program that's out there for veterans, and that's what this show's all about, actually, is just getting programs that are out there or trying to get people till they'll call the service officer here or they'll call Indianapolis. I think if they call Pete, he can find an answer. He has such a limited time because, I mean, he's the time frame that he has, he's always busy doing something.
Very busy,
so,
yeah.
But
we're not the VA. We can't. I mean, if you've got a VA
That's good,
question,
though.
I may direct you over to the VA call center, call line, because I don't have that information.
Right.
I'll try to help you in any way I can, but if it's a VA benefits question, you need to check with VA benefits. I'll try to guide you with as I can.
You can tell them what the state of Indiana can
Yeah.
do for them as a veteran.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Yeah.
We're ready to close
All right.
down.
Well, listen, we got to get out of here, folks. And guys, I really appreciate this. These two segments.
Yeah, it's been great.
Very informative. I've learned some things here today. I've picked up some things that I
Sure.
didn't know from before. So maybe down the road we'll do a revisit of this. Maybe 6 months to a year or whatever.
Sure.
Thanks for
Yeah.
inviting
Definitely.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Well, we enjoy, and we always enjoy the people from
Yeah.
Indianapolis
Yeah.
coming down. So,
Yeah.
thanks again,
All right.
and drive
Hey,
safely.
We got to go, folks.
Yeah.
See you next time.